This video is intended to teach you how to find the mean, the median, or the mode, which are called measures of central tendency. Central because these three measures talk about what's on the inside or what is the middle of the data set. Also, we're going to learn how to find the range, which is a measure of dispersion because it talks about how the data is dispersed or spread out. So, vocabulary words: mean, that's when you add up all the numbers together and divide by how many numbers you have. This is also called the average, or numerical average. The median is when you list the numbers from least to greatest and find the number in the middle. Think about the median of a highway is in the middle of the highway. Mode sounds like most. It's the number that occurs the most. It's not the biggest number, it's the number that happens the most times. And these are all, like I said, measures of the central tendency or the center of the data. And then range is when you take the largest number and you minus or subtract the smallest number, which tells you how spread out the data is. Now, we can do this on several ways. You can be given a bar graph, which is also sometimes called a histogram. Now, to read a histogram, you look at the, it doesn't matter that that is Thursday. It matters that Thursday happened once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So that's a 7. Friday, 8, 9. Saturday is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sunday is 8, 9. Monday is 9. Tuesday is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then Wednesday is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are our data or our numbers. So when we find the mean, we're going to add all these numbers together and divide by how many we got. Now, so we'll do it 3 ways. One is if you just using the calculator as a calculator and not as a computer. So we can put in the numbers 7 plus 9 plus 7 plus 9 plus 9 plus 6 plus 6. You must hit enter. Then we divide by how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We divide by 7, and the answer is 7.57. Now, you can also use this calculator as a computer. Now, this key right here is the stat key. So you hit stat, S-T-A-T. It's the stat key. And we want to edit our data. Now we have stuff in there, so if you use the up key and hit clear, hit enter, it goes away. Once again, go over to where it says L1, hit clear, hit enter, and it goes away. And we're going to put our data into that first column. So we're going to put 7, enter, 9, enter, 7, enter, 9, enter, 9, enter, 6, enter, 6, enter. Go back to stat, and we want to use the calculator to calculate. So we're going to go to calculate. One variable stats because we just have one thing. Our list is in L. I'm pointing at stuff you can't see. Your list is in L1, so hit enter. This X bar is the way the calculator says there's a mean. So the mean in the calculator is a X with a bar on top, and it's the very first thing we see. And you'll see that it is 7.57. Okay? Now, using the little calculator, it also has this very same function. It works a little bit different. This function is called the data function, or the stat. So to get to it, because it's green, you have to do the green key and the data. And there it is. And so very similar, you put data first. And we need to clear the stuff out. So we need to clear. You put in the data. So So we put in 7, 9, 7, 9, 9, 6, and 6. Go back to second stat, one variable, hit enter. In L1, the frequency, or how many times each number happens, is 1. And we calculate, and X bar tells us that we have 7.57. So that is how you use the calculator to find the mean, or you can just add them up and divide by how many you got. Now, to find the median. To find the median, we have to list these numbers from least to greatest, and then find the number in the middle. So the smallest number is 6, 6, 7, 7, and then we have 9, 9, and 9. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers, so we have them all. And what I do is I strike out 1, 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 and 7 is in the middle. Now, in this calculator, since we've already done the stats, if you come down and just keep on using this down key, at the very bottom there's an MED, and that is the median, and so the median is 7. If you're using the bigger calculator, or the 84, then you'll see that the median is also down there at median is 7. So if you're just finding like one, you probably just want to do it in your head, or using a calculator just for a number calculator. If you had to find all of them, it's probably quicker to use the calculator because it gives you all of them after you put the data in, so it's up to you. Now, so the mode. The mode is the number that happens the most. It's not the biggest number, it's the number that happens the most. So 6 happens twice. 9 happens 1, 2, 3 times. And 7 happens twice. So because 9 happens 1, 2, 3 times, the mode is 9. The calculator does not offer the mode function for you. You have to figure that out on your own. And the range is the highest number minus the lowest number. So the highest number is 9 minus the lowest number, which is 6. The largest minus the smallest, which is 3. So the range is 3. So if you'll look at the data and think for a minute, you have 7.57, you have 7, and you have 9. If we're looking for what the center of the data is, it's probably going to be 7 or 7.57 and not 9, because 7 seems to be in the center of the data, and so that will describe a better data set than, say, a 9, which is higher than most of the data. Anyway, and then looking at the range tells us that a data is spread out amongst 3 points, and so that means it's really clumped close together. So that is using a histogram. This is a histogram or a bar graph. Now, we can do the same thing with what is called a dot plot. And the way the dot plot works is the number 1 happened 1, 2, 3 times. So we have 3 1s. The 2 happened 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we have 4 2s. The 3 happened once. The 4 happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I'm out of paper. And then the 5 happened 1 time. So, oh, and the 6 happened too. So there it is. Now, so we listed them all out, and so we can find the mean. Now, once again, we can add them all up together and divide by how many we got, or we can use the calculator. Now, this time we're going to use the frequency key so that we don't have to write all these numbers that many times. So we're going to go to second quit to get back. We're going to go to data. To make the data go away, if you just go up and you can delete individual like that, or if you wanted to, you can go to second stat and go down to the, go to data and just delete. Okay, now, so what we're going to do is we have the number 1.
Then we have the number 2, we have the number 3, we have the number 4, we have the number 5, and we have the number 6. Come over to the second one, and when we cross from 1, since it happens 3 times, we put a 3. Because 2 happens 4 times, we put a 4. Because 3 happens 1 time, we put a 1. Because 4 happens 5 times, we put a 5. Because 5 happens 1 time, we put a 1. And because 6 happens 1 time, we put a 1. Now, go back to second stat. We have one variable. Now this time our data is now 1, but our frequency, or how often it happens, is in L2. Hit enter, enter, and there's our data. Because there's an X bar, that means the mean is 3. We come down to the bottom, and we find our median is 3. Now mode, the number that happens the most, is 4 because it happens 5 times. So the mode is 4 because it happens the most. And the range is the biggest number, which is 6, minus the smallest number, which is 1, which is 5. Now, using the big calculator to find the same data, you do it in a similar way. Go to Stat, we're going to go to Edit, we're going to go up to the L1 and clear, hit enter. Now, so we're going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then go over to L2, because 1 happens 3 times, hit 3, 4, 1, 5, 1, and 1. Go back to Stat, go over to Calculate, one variable. Now, because our frequency list is in L2, then it's down here. You see that it's the blue key right here, L2. So you do the blue key and L2 for the frequency and calculate. And there it is with the mean of 3 and moving down the median of 3. And the mode and the range are calculated by hand. So I hope this is helpful, finding the mean, median, mode, and range, either using a calculator or by hand. So I hope this was helpful. Yeah.